Hi everyone, my name is Glenda with SureFit Designs, commonly referred to as Glenda the Good Stitch. Those of you who already sew with the SureFit Designs fitting, designing, and sewing system know how flexible it can be for all of your sewing needs. Today I'd like to focus on the shirt kit and the Armscye. And why is that? Well, very recently I received a question on, it was how do I raise the underarm of the Armscye up to make it less deep? And so I'd like to first of all explain to you why the shirt pattern pieces are the way they are. So let's take a look at this blouse that I have on the mannequin here. Done from the shirt kit, does not have a bust fitting dart. Again, most of you realize that the shirt pattern is a dartless garment. If you need to add one, you can. There are directions for it. But initially, it starts off without a bust dart. And when it doesn't have a bust dart, it means that you need to have more wearing ease in the circumference of the bust line. And so the shirt kit provides about 5.5 to 6 inches of ease. Now, because it's got more ease, it means that it requires a deeper Armscye. And with a deeper Armscye, it means that the sleeve cap is flatter and the sleeve is wider. But does that mean you can't raise the Armscye? No, of course not. You definitely can. As we take a look at the jacket that I'm currently wearing, I have raised the Armscye, and now I'd like to take you to the pattern and show you how easy that is to do. We'll begin on the shirt front. You will already have drawn off your shirt front in your size, of course, in your measurements. And I'm going to come up 1 inch and I'm going to make a dot. And then what I'm going to do is pencil this in because I just want to get a visual idea of how best the curve should look. And then I'll come back to it and I will true it up with the designing stylus. So just take your designing stylus and use curves that best follow your pencil line. And I'm going to do this in a different color so that you can see it. And then to finish off that curve, I'll just flop the designing stylus over and come out like this. So the Armscye now has come up 1 inch. And then I would blend back down into the existing side seam like that. Another thing that you'll want to do is extend the matching notch out like that. Let's move on to the shirt back. It will be the same process. You're going to measure up 1 inch like this and make a dot. Then you're going to come with your pencil and just visually make a nice smooth curve, and then come back with your designing stylus and start truing and blending that curve so that it's completed. And of course, on the back, we're going to extend double notches for the notch at the back of the Armscye. And then just blend back down into that side seam. So now let's take a look at the sleeve pattern. Going over here, we're going to do virtually the same thing. I will measure up 1 inch and make a dot. And I'm going to pencil this in so that I can get a visual perspective of a nice smooth curve. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Come up 1 inch, and then I'm just visually blending and truing from the cap. Now I'll come in with a different color so that you can see this, and I'll come like this, and then I have to just shift the stylus a little bit more to finish that off, and we'll blend at the side seam and do the same thing over here. And blend down into the side seam. Lastly, let's remember the matching notches. The single notch goes in the front and the double notch goes in the back of the sleeve cap. I know that when many of you see this little video, I'm going to be getting phone calls and emails asking how I did the rest of this jacket. Well, I'll give you some guidelines. Number one, I sewed it out of a knit fabric, and that means that I reduced some of the ease that's in the garment. And you can size down 1 or 2 dots, depending, of course, on how stretchy your fabric is. And what do I mean by sizing down 1 or 2 dots? Well, if you started off with a 40-inch bust, you're going to come down to perhaps a 39 or maybe even a 38 dot. You're getting rid of some of the ease because the knit is so stretchy. Then what I did to create this flare and fullness and flouncy kind of stuff on the top was I spread the side seam open about 6 inches. Then I took the front of it and I cut from the hemline up to the shoulder line, and I spread that open another 6 inches, and then at center front I think I came out about another 4 to 6 inches. So I had lots of fullness here. And you'll notice at the front of this, there's the hem level right here, and you can see how long the back becomes. And so I just had to graduate the hem from a shorter front down through the side seam, and I kept going to the hemline at the back. The only thing you need to make very certain of is that when you do that, that the side seams are the same length when you end up on the back and the front after drawing them both. And then of course on the back of the pattern I've got some fullness back here as well. So I took the back pattern, I sliced from the hemline up to the shoulder line and spread that open about 6 inches and added a little bit of fullness at the side seam. So it was just actually a lot of fullness being added to the drape at the hemline. I hope you've enjoyed this short video on how to raise the Armscye up in your shirt kit. You can see how totally flexible your SureFit Designs shirt kit is going to be. And I would invite you to join our SureFit Designs community, and you can do that very quickly. Go to surefitdesigns.com, our main website, and request to join the newsletter list. It's totally free to do that. Number 2, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is just SureFit Designs. And last but certainly not least, if you have a Facebook presence and would like to join our private group, please make sure that you request to join and participate in the fun of seeing everybody's garments, the asking of the questions, and the interacting with one another. And you can do that by going to facebook.com/groups/SureFit Designs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.